I am always looking for new games to enjoy, and while lots of titles release and are awesome, some unfortunately miss the mark, and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty released only a few days ago, and people are having major problems with it, leading to a lot of disappointment. It is buggy, broken, and people are furious over another bad $60 game releasing that they put zero effort into. I have a bunch of things to show off though, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, I want to start this conversation off with saying the content that is there doesn't look bad. I was actually very excited for this game. It's a Souls-like, it's basically Nioh 3. It looked pretty awesome, but unfortunately, even I had some major problems with this. I did attempt to stream the game, and it was so laggy and stuttery, I couldn't get far through the game. Unfortunately, there are very few titles that I play that I have to put down because of technical problems, and this was one of the few. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going through this. The reviews on Steam actually are now sitting in mostly negative because of how many issues this title has. So I wanted to show off a couple of articles on this. The first one says, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty review, fluid combat flawed by performance issues. And this is kind of the general thought on this game, is that the combat is really good, the graphics are good, it is a solid title except for the massive performance problems, which of course definitely deserve to be called out. It says, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, developed by Team Ninja, the studio behind, of course, the Nioh franchise, has iterated on its action RPG formula to create a new compelling game that unfortunately suffers from some of the core issues as its predecessors. It says, tackling the varied battlefields and progressing through the world was immensely enjoyable. That was until the game took over for its heavy story moments, or my experience was interrupted by several performance issues that really held back what is otherwise an excellent game. So this review says it's a good title. Unfortunately, it's broken. The next articles say, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty review in progress, a broken Soulsborne. And this is why this game was so hyped. It was supposed to be a new Soulsborne. It was supposed to be, Team Ninja's next giant game. And it looked awesome from the teasers and trailers that we saw. It says, though, they are not a developer that messes about. It's had its fingers in a wealth of pies over the years, birthing both the Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden franchises, very much earning its name as a company with a keen eye for tight, snappy combat. It is by no means a perfect game, but there's only so much we can say about them without running the risk of being unfair to Team Ninja. Despite the problems I found in the game, to relay them in a review would be unfair, but let's be clear, in our build of the game, there were problems. I personally do not trust game journalists, and this is a massive reason why. They're saying they want to be fair to the developers, so they're not going to really talk about the technical issues, but they still ruined this player's experience. That makes zero sense. But heading on over to Steam, as you can see, players are having massive issues with this title. On the All Reviews tab, it is showing with 8,785 reviews, mostly negative. This game had a lot of hype around it. People were so excited for this title to release. Again, I was too. But all of these reviews are not recommendeds. People are saying things like, saw all of the reviews about the performance and said to myself, it won't be that bad. It is in fact that bad. I wish I could leave a neutral review. It has good ideas, but so many questions. Why did the game crash twice in like the first 15 minutes? Why is the first boss such a steep jump in difficulty? Why did the game get easier after the first boss? Why can't I disable tutorials? Why are there tutorials repeating when I die? Why does this game, freeze all the time? Why does it run slower than 30 FPS? Lots of questions here. There is a good game hidden here, but sadly PC players won't get to play it due to its horrendous port. Now, it seems like the PlayStation 5 version of the game, from what I understand, runs pretty well. It was the original platform that they made the game for, and it runs really good, but unfortunately they basically just ported it to the PC and the Xbox, and those versions have major technical issues because they half-assed it seems, which is very unfortunate because it is on Game Pass, so you should be able to play it off of that. It is a $60 title, and when you purchase games at that price, you expect them to run pretty flawlessly. Of course, there are always going to be minor bugs and glitches, but this game is unplayable for most people unless you are playing it on the PlayStation 5, and even those players have actually had some issues with it according to the reviews left on Metacritic. Never-ending crashes, and if your game crashes mid-level or mid-co-op mission, then goodbye progress and items. This is a trash game which is still in beta and, in my opinion, not yet cooked for release. This happens far too often. A game needs like half a year more, and then if it had released, it would be almost perfect. But unfortunately, companies want to rush games out because, of course, they want to make money. Look at Cyberpunk. Of course, I've talked about it a million times, and I'll probably have to talk about it a million more. If that had 6 more months of cooking, it would have released perfectly. People would still be playing it, but because, of course, they rushed it out for the holiday and they didn't put that much work and effort into it, or as much as they should have, everybody just kind of dropped it after their first playthrough because it had so many problems. And of course, people will pick it back up when the DLC comes out later this year, but at that point, it's already been out for, 3 years, and we've been waiting for more content that whole time. And heading on over to Metacritic, the scores are pretty high. It seems like there are a lot of people who are simply giving this game positive reviews because, of course, they like the idea of this title. But the user score for the PC version is currently sitting at a 7.1, and there are a lot of positives from what I saw. But unfortunately, also, a lot of negatives. They keep trying to imitate FromSoft and keep falling short. Complex does not always equal good or fun. Voice acting and story are terrible. Huge performance issues this time too. Wait for a big sale to purchase if you really want to try it. 10 plus hours in, and so far I'm really not loving the game. It's okay, but nowhere near the levels of these other titles that it's been compared to. Combat is fun, but just like Sekiro, there's only one right way to play, not much room for different styles and builds, and unfortunately, bland and uninspired. It's still fun, but it's got major issues. So as you can see, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is being raked across the coals right now. People are very sad that this game that they were excited for came out and it has some major technical problems. I hope in a month or two they've put out some new patches for it. I know that they said they were planning to, but they didn't give a time frame. I hope that they put a lot more work and effort into this game, and in a couple of months it will probably be playable, it will probably be fixed, or, pretty close to being fixed, and then it will be an enjoyable experience. But right now it is facing some massive issues, and unfortunately, I can't recommend picking it up, even if you were excited about it months ago. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.